Welcome to Sales Bites by Journey, where we talk about everything you need to know to be a killer at sales. I'm your host, Will Jenkins. Let's get it. Welcome to Sales Bites by Journey. Today we have Sherman Barnes, Vice President of Sales at Bennett Motor Express. Sherman, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, sir.
Absolutely, man. Really appreciate your time. You know, it's funny. I met you on LinkedIn, just like so many of my other fun industry friends, and I've had the chance to learn from you. It's been really cool to see some of your sales strategies and tactics. So today we're going to attack one, which is really important, persistence with larger opportunities. So talk to me a little bit. Sales is a mental battle sometimes, man. You're sending emails, you're making calls, you're not getting anywhere. How do you stay persistent when you're selling to some of these larger opportunities?
So I have a philosophy with that, right? I close small to medium-sized accounts in my journey towards closing large accounts, right? So if you're an average salesperson out there, all right, closing a large account, unless you're lucky, it may take 6 months to a year. That's just me being honest. Some people are going to listen to that and disagree. That's been my experience. So your boss probably isn't going to give you a year. You're probably not going to give you 6 months in this environment. So what you have to do is have what are the small accounts? So where it's a single decision maker, you can fill it up with minnows and sardines or whatnot and get some of those going to give you time enough to land the whale. So that's definitely one way to buy yourself time from your boss clicking at your heels about your pipeline. You got to be showing some, demonstrated value and bringing in some revenue. So that's how I do it. I don't only depend on hunting whales. I also throw in a few minnows and dolphins and other stuff in there to give me time enough to land the whale.
Man, that is next level veteran sales coaching right there, because you could think you're terrible at sales because the length of your deal is too long. And so you get discouraged, but that's just the buying pattern of that style of customer. Doesn't mean that you're bad at sales. You might have the worst timing, just miss the RFP, and they will not onboard you for another 12 months. It's just part of the game. And so you're not going to be able to sit in that seat and not sales is a production game, right? So you got to understand, how do you stay in the game throughout that process?
100%. And so the persistence is the timeline is the timeline. And sometimes you call at the wrong time. Like to your point, you just missed the RFP, or in this environment, they may not need help and they're not blowing smoke. They really don't need help right now. And that's okay. So rather than being persistent in terms of calling them every day and stuffing it down their throat, okay, I understand that. I won't bother you, but I'll reach out to you again in the future, give them a heads up. And then I look at some of the smaller to medium-sized opportunities. So I keep working those opportunities. I got them in the back of my mind. I know who they are. Each engagement with them, I learn more about the customer, which is going to help me with the next engagement. I get more and more information. I'm building more and more rapport. But in the meantime, I'm still closing accounts and other opportunities and sharpening my skills for when it's time to re-engage with the larger opportunity. So a lot of people, the discouragement piece is very powerful. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's really good, because what you're saying is, it is. I mean, it's interesting because what you're saying is, if we're selling to a large behemoth opportunity and we know it's going to take a while to get it closed, I have to keep selling to them. Subsequently, I need to be selling to other opportunities that keep me in the game. Like I got to be moving forward with some other stuff. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, you're sharpening your sales skills, you're sharpening your communication skills during that time so that when you re-engage with them, you're even sharper.
Totally. So talk to me about things that you will typically send or say throughout the life cycle of a sales process. Let's say you reached out to me and it was a timing thing. You missed the RFP. I'm a little standoffish. Hey, Sherman, I'm good. I don't really have a need for any more brokers, or I'm all set. What type of stuff are you sending or saying to me if you know I'm a viable opportunity, but you got to wait your time out to get an opportunity to move freight with us?
I stay in touch with them, again, by sharing meaningful information in the market, like trends that I'm seeing in the market. We have so much a wealth of data internally with our company, with freight waves, with different companies, with different people that are sharing information. I share that information with potential clients. Sometimes I'm able to get their cell phone and take them out to eat and hang because I'm like, look, no pressure. If we work together, great. If we don't work together, great. I'm a no pressure salesman, so I try to get as close to people as I possibly can. And I genuinely try to help them. And when they know I'm not too pushy, they can receive the text for what it is. So sometimes the text, at first they're thinking that, well, why is Sherman sending me this? I don't know. But then over time, they start to respond to those texts. Well, yeah, I see that in the market too. Sherman, what are you seeing? And now we got a dialogue going and I have a relationship building so that by the time the RFP or all those things are in process, I've been knowing this guy for 6 months, 8 months, 2 months, whatever it may be. That gives me a leg up versus a guy that called him once or twice, gave up, and then try to, or call him every day and blow him up and pisses him off. I literally had somebody call me today saying that, hey, and he's a friend, and he's a shipper. He said, it's this kid and he keeps blowing me up and he doesn't know I'm never working with him. I'm never going to work with him. He's too aggressive. So it's truly an art and a science to it. It's a balance, man. And so I do that by acting human. They're a potential customer. Yes, it may be a really good opportunity for you, but if you run them away, you blew it anyway. So rather than being too pushy, try to develop a relationship, try to get to slow down your pace a bit. I know when we're young and we're going and we're trying to push, but you got to slow your pace down. You got to act human, and you can't treat them like they're a piece of meat. They're a human being with loved ones, desires, KPIs, and as you get to know that person, it will give you more information to deal with them that'll heighten the likelihood of success in working with that person, and you'll get more information and data that other competitors won't have because you've been getting to know that person over time, while the other carriers may have been distracted. So that's definitely something that I do in engaging with people while I'm doing that.
I like that, man. Acting human is important. You want to remember the person on the other side. They got a lot of stuff going on outside of just transportation, and they're probably going to remember that buyer experience. If you were really annoying and spammy, like, you're not going to get a shot.
And I'll tell you something else I learned for, young people or whoever that's listening. I always remember, man, desperation is unattractive. Desperation is a customer repellent.
Yeah.
If you come across too needy, whether we're talking dating, like whatever we're talking about, if you come across too needy, human beings are going to reject that. So my posture is always, I'm not here begging for anything. I'm here to offer something of value. Does this make sense or not? If it doesn't, cool, no harm, no foul. I'll re-engage with you in the future. If I can help with anything, let me know. I won't be, but I'm offering something of value, right? And so coming from that vantage point, I'm not coming across desperate. I'm educated about their business. I'm educated about my business. I know what's a fit. I'm not too pushy. Those things tend to attract what you're looking for.
I like that, man. That confidence is a big piece of being able to stay in the game long enough throughout the sales cycle of one of those larger opportunities. So quick question for you in terms of looking at the mental aspect or staying dialed in mentally. Sales is tough. It's, a lot of ups and downs. Sometimes you think you're cruising, go in the right direction, and boom, you do not get invited to the RFP, or you do not get an award, and your sales cycle, you start all over again. You still want to get that opportunity. How do you stay dialed in mentally? That's probably, it might not be as hard for you now because you've been in the game for a while, but when you first start, man, it's tough.
I remember. So yeah, right now I'm built for this. That's not going to help.
Yeah.
but I'm just keeping it 100. But when I was younger and newer to the business, I was there. And the way, just do not quit. Find out, why are you doing? So first of all, make sure it's something that you're truly passionate about. That's the first thing I'll say. I love business. I love people. I love the game of engaging with people. Now, I had disappointments. Sometimes I questioned, am I good at sales because I missed the RFP or I didn't get the results, or My boss was all over me because I thought I was going to do this and I didn't do it successfully. I've taken some L's. I've taken some serious L's, but the big thing is determine, is this something that you're passionate about? Do you really like business? Do you really like transportation? And if so, then commit to it. Commit your whole heart to it. Learn, grow, develop, and don't quit. Remember why you're doing this. You're here to support your family. You're here to leave a legacy. You're here to contribute to society. And freight and the movement of freight and transportation is your contribution. That's what you're trying to do. So what got me through, man, was just remembering why I'm here. Remembering that, old school mama didn't raise no quitter. I just do not quit. I don't believe in it. Again, if you're not passionate about it, maybe you're supposed to be an accountant or something, whatever. I get it. So definitely do a self-introspective assessment of, is this for you? But if you dig in there and you're like, man, because I had to answer that question myself. Is this for me? Like I was around in the 2009 recession. It was horrible. Like it was really bad. Like I got a lot of no's. Like right now, I got a lot of no's. So I had to self-reflect. Is this for me? Am I built for this? It's good to do those assessments, but answering back from like the echoes of my heart was like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. And so I'm gonna commit to it. I'm gonna go become the best person I can become. Because in a market like this, if you can close a customer and sell in this market, you can sell in any market. You can sell in any market. So use this time
100%.
Get sharp, to grow, to question, to develop, to speak to people like Will, to people like me, people that have been in the business for a while. Just take this time to develop. Because if you're swimming and you're surviving in this environment, when the market turns, you'll be that much better, man. That's just the honest to God truth.
Man, I love it. You are spitting hot fire right now, man, dropping some really, really good sales bites. So I want to take a couple notes here, just kind of summarize what you mentioned, and then we'll wrap up. You mentioned off the top, which is a really good tip. Work on some small to medium accounts while you're closing the whales so that you keep yourself in the game and you sharpen your skills, because the timeline is a timeline is what you said. You can't do anything about some of those buying cycles, but you can close other opportunities along the way and stay sharp and engaged. You mentioned that each engagement helps you with the next. So what can you learn in those conversations? How can you use that from conversation to conversation to be better equipped to do what you're doing in your sales process as you're reaching out and staying consistent? Share meaningful market trends, but don't always be salesy, so that, you just remember you're building a relationship. You got to be human. And then the last one, which is by far my favorite, find your passion, don't quit, and commit to it. So if you can sell in this market, you can sell in any market, but you got to do some self-reflection and stay locked in throughout that process.
Yep. That's it. That's great.
Dude, you crushed it, man. I really appreciate the information here. Super valuable. Can't wait to get you on Sales Bites again. But thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us and share your expertise.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's a real honor.